What's going on? We back. It's the Boxing Clinic and more. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. Shout out to the whole LDBC. We working. And don't forget, we got the new Fire podcast with me, the Cali Enigma. Raw and Uncut, triple rated R. It's very, very explicit. The podcast link is in the box. The Castbox is an amazing website and has an amazing app. Just sign up with your Facebook or your Google. Subscribe to us on there. Our direct link to our podcast is on there. And we talk more than boxing, more than sports. It's real deep stuff, man. And it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for really, really sensitive people. It's for open-minded people that want that raw talk, that real straight drop shit we can't give y'all guys on here. But get into the video real quick, and I'll explain that a little bit later in the video. Tell you this, man. Crawford, Errol Spence, them two in particular, Gary Russell, they got to be more aggressive in how they approach these big fights. You know, they must call out and they must confront. And Deontay Wilder, they must confront their foes. No two ways around it. They must get out there and pull up on these guys and put them on the spot and change the narrative of public perception, or force the narrative, not change it, because there's really no the narrative of public perception of the casual boxing fan is that, you know, it's really none. No, I mean, nobody's really out there talking about Danny and, you know, ducking Earl like that for real, other than the hardcore box community, because we see between the lines. We follow the other move. The casuals just follow it when the fight builds up and something controversial happens, and they say, "Ooh, that look good," on some WWE type stuff. That look good. It seems like they both cat pillars, or, you know, they both were talking that jump. Build some type of controversy, and Errol, Terence, and Gary Russell, they feel that they're above that. And I threw Gary in there, but they feel like they're above that. You know, Gary Russell. Let me talk about that for a minute. Gary Russell said, you know, these managers, these fighters ducking me. He's just arrogance. It's arrogance, dude. It's arrogance that he feels like it's beneath him to excuse me, wait, make sure this car will come on the street playing music, not to start over. But he feels like it's beneath him to call out Leo Santa Cruz. He knows he's a better fighter, more talented than Leo Santa Cruz. But he feel like he don't have to do that. He shouldn't have to do that. But you got to be a go-getter, man. You got to be out here in these dudes' face, calling these dudes out. And people say, well, you know, it's not their fault. They don't want to sell themselves out and be arrogant like Mayweather. It's ways to be classy. It's ways to be tasteful while calling an opponent out. You know, it's what I mean. You know, you ain't begging. You going out there and get it. Begging is asking for somebody to give it to you. When you go out there in that ring and you get that face time, that face action, and you get into their face, that's going out there. That's going out there and go and snatching it. That's going out there and earning it. That's going out there and being proactive and making it happen. It ain't begging for a fight. It's going out there that you believe he got something you want and you want it. And you feel like you qualified to go get it, and you go get it. You know, these dudes need to start pulling up on these dudes, man. You know, especially Errol Spence. If he doesn't pull up on the winner, Danny and Sean Porter, man, Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, I'm going to be highly disappointed in him. Highly disappointed. He best to pull up in the ring and call them out and put them on the spot, and then they don't have no other way but to fight him. Because not only, you know, it's a hardcore and purist perception, we already know what it is. They don't care, because the narrative haven't spilled outside of the boxing community. But once it spilled out into the public, once ESPN, TMZ start talking about it, once it start getting on Facebook that Earl pulled up and say, man, you been ducking me, what's going on, Danny and Sean, whoever want to fight, what's going on? Nah, forget all that fake shit, man. What's going on? What's the business, dog? Man, you gonna fight me next or not, man? Stop acting like, you know. And once he does that and pull up on, they don't have no other choice but to do that. Same thing for Terence Crawford. Forget that top-ranked Premier Boxing Championship, man. Every time Terence Crawford at the fight, he can't even call nobody out first. You know, he gotta ask Bob, "Hey Bob, I'm ready, man. You know, put me in with the best." He trying to put Bob on the spot, so he gotta battle Bob before he can battle to call out other people. You know what I'm saying? So that's his problem. You know, he gotta battle his promoter before battling, you know, going out there calling people out. If I'm Terence, I'm going out there calling people out too. I'm going to PBC. What's going on, Porter? Man, what's going on, Danny? What y'all want to do, bro? What y'all want to do, man? Call my promoter. Let's make it happen, Captain. You know, I'm out there in the trenches trying to make plays out there, man. And Earl is starting to step out that shell. But Gary Russell, he's been allowed. He's allowed that division to Grimo Rigondeaux him. You know, he's allowed that. You know, he's allowed to sit there, be humble, fight once a year, be quiet. See, the thing about him is he don't want to waste his hands and his health. His hands is real bad. He don't want to be out there wasting no fights. You know,
He want to only fight the big fights, and if he don't get the big fights, he's gonna fight the mandatory. But you can't be there, sitting there, be quiet, and being in the background, and expect people to still remember you, or people still to think about you when Santa Cruz is out here fighting Maraz or Chris Avalos. He out here being active. He out here fighting Carl Frampton. And people forget about you. Then, oh, Gary Russell got to fight 1 year down the line. You know, I like to see Gary Russell versus Leo Santa Cruz, you know, around the time Gary Russell fight. And then people forget about Gary Russell because he go into the shadows. No. You got to be out here pulling up on Leo Santa Cruz. What's going on, man? Let's make this fight happen. You know what I'm saying? You know, let's make it happen. You got to be putting the pressure on them, man. These fighters like Crawford, Spence, and Russell, they don't put the pressure on nobody. And before you know it, their career going to pass them by. They going to age them out. You know, don't shit come to somebody that sit there and lay there all day but a dream and nothing but extra weight, you know, nothing but health problems and diseases and stuff of that nature. That's all they come from that. You got to be out there going to get it. You got to go get it. It ain't beneath you. Deontay Wilder go up there and pull up on Joshua and do a Shannon Briggs and pull up outside his mom's house where he stay at and say what's good. I mean, what you want to do, bro? I mean, you've been talking all this junk. What's good? What's really going on? It ain't nothing to put these dudes whole card, man. And that's what you got to do. And no fighters don't do it. They don't do it. They not turning every stone over like they should be. And I guarantee if Errol don't pull up there and try to make that fight happen and put them on the spot, they going to go do something else after that fight. And the fans just going to growl about it for a minute, the hardcore, and then we just going to accept it and down the line. And you waiting for fights you shouldn't have to wait for. And we putting all the blame on Danny, Sean, Joshua, Santa Cruz, but there is blame to be put on Deontay, Terence, Errol, and Gary Russell. You know, because they not they not trying to make no plays happen. They not out there trying to force the narrative. They're out there trying to be humble, be quiet, or whatever. Man, like I said on my video yesterday, because I briefly touched on this, and we touched on this in the podcast, all right? So make sure y'all check it out. It was the Danny Garcia and Sean Porter podcast, the last episode we did to this time, episode 9, all right? You know, Floyd Mayweather called out Oscar De La Hoya for years. When he was 135 pounds, 140 pounds, 147 pounds, he was calling him out. He was consistently calling him out. He called Oscar out for years before he got that fight. He put work in. If he never would have said nothing, he never would have got the fight. Never would have got the fight. So you got to be out here putting work in, man. You can't just allow the fight and then, you know, do a couple interviews and do an interview here and there and think that's good enough. You know, your duties spill outside that. You got to put the pressure and hit the road and put the pressure on these fighters, man. You got to show up to their fights, talk shit, man. I'm going to end on this. Imagine if Errol Spence was there at the Rios and Danny Garcia fight where Keith Thurman was there. I'm talking about he was vacationing. Ain't no time for vacation. We on the chase to get all these belts. We on the chase to a Terence Crawford fight. Should have pulled up and put the pressure on Keith Thurman, put his ass on the spot. You know what I'm saying? And then when him and Keith Thurman was in their face, he got a little gangster, but now it's time to amp it up, Earl. You know, because they don't see what they doing to the sport. They killing the sport. You know, by these fights not being happening, and they not doing their job. Deontay, he trying, but at some point you got to go to the next level. You got to pull up on him and catch him outside his mom's house, catch him at the shop, and pull up on him. You got the bread to fly over there and say what's good. You know, Terence, pull up at the PBC event and say what's good. Do a face-off with Errol Spence. Do a face-off with Danny and Sean. You know what I'm saying? You got to pull up and say what's really good. You know? That's what happened with Sean and Keith. They did a face-off way before they fought. You got to open your mouth. You got to be a go-getter. You got to pull these dudes' whole card. But y'all know what it is, the Boxing Clinic and more. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon button so you won't miss another video or a live stream. So I go live in about an hour or two, all right? And don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Y'all know we working on them platforms as well. All that information is in the description right along the podcast. Hopefully, me and Callie can connect today, and we can make some more magic happen and record about 3 or 4 episodes, all right? Don't forget, shout out to the Lions Den Box community. Share the video as well. And if you want to guest on a podcast, we got a platform. If you're on YouTube and we familiar with your work, go ahead and shoot me an email, and we can set up a time for you to get on the platform and get a subject going. But shout out to the LDBC, man. Y'all know what it is, man. We working. All them haters out there trying to stop the rain, trying to stop the process because they can't be a part of the parade. They can't rain on this parade. We gone.